Hey guys, it's Mooty here, and welcome to another episode of VGC Prep. If you haven't seen the last episode and basically the introduction to this, I will have a link and an annotation somewhere here. And as always, if this episode reaches 200 likes, then I'll continue posting them because I know a lot of people have requested VGC. And as I get into it a bit more, then it can also kind of help you guys out with team building and stuff like that if you guys would like help on that, because that has also been a highly requested thing, along with the with the strategy decks thing I've been doing, in which I just go over a lot of competitive stuff with many different tiers. So today I'm still running the same team I ran last time. I haven't changed anything up because right now I just haven't really had the time to think of what I want to change up. Currently I may want to change out Landorus and put in maybe a Thunderous that has Taunt, just because Prankster Taunt is really useful to have. And like I said the last episode, Taunt is one of the things that my team would appreciate having a lot. There's just a lot of Pokemon that set up, a lot of Pokemon that have status moves, which would also help it. So other than that, I'm gonna hit challenge. My rating is still at 1500, obviously, because we won one and we lost one. So I guess our record is decent. It's 1-1, but this will give us an opportunity to try and make it better and bump it up just a tad bit if I don't completely suck at it. Like, obviously I do need practice just like anyone else, because clearly I'm not perfect, because no one is, but I'm also still just getting the hang of the metagame. So this guy's running Escadrille, Salamence, Empoleon, Tyranitar, Sylveon, and I'm forgetting that last one. I can't remember the frigging squishy thing, but it's whatever. It's a psychic type. And if anything, for Megas, he's going to carry Salamence on his team. Tyranitar is also an option, but I kind of doubt it, because Salamence just is the most prevalent Mega, really. Salamence carries Intimidate, which would be really useful for me to bring my Milotic with. Empoleon, honestly, not really too scared about, but I think a decent lead that I really like going with is Milotic and Kanga. They're both really good leads. Don't want to lead off with Rotom because he does carry probably a Mold Breaker Excadrill, and that's another possibility. He might also carry some sort of duo with Tyranitar and Escadrille if he wants to benefit from Sand. So in the back, I'm kind of thinking Sylveon is a really good asset to have against the Tyranitar and the Salamence, and possibly the Empoleon, because I do carry HP Ground, but it's not going to matter that much. But I am going to bring Sylveon in the back. Now his Sylveon is going to kind of be a pain in the ass to deal with, because Kanga is kind of my only physical attacker, and that's really the easiest way for you to get through Sylveon. And I'm thinking in the last slot, Rotom is a good choice. I just kind of have to watch out for... I'm just thinking... Rotom is good, but at the same time, I'm just thinking that he has a lot of bulky especially bulky Pokemon. I may want to lead off with Landorus. Not lead, but have Landorus in the back just in case for Intimidate support. So it also may help with the Excadrill if he does decide to lead off with not lead, but carry Excadrill. So if he leads with Salamence, honestly, that could be the best thing for my Milotic. It doesn't really help Kanga much, but he leads with, okay, there's the other combo I was talking about of Tyranitar and the Excadrill. So in this case, I'm glad I carried Landorus because I can easily intimidate it. Excadrill is probably a physical attacker, but neither one of these Pokemon wants to deal with my Milotic. Neither of them wants to deal with my Milotic, so Scald is the best option. I'm thinking in terms of what's the bigger threat right now, and I'm thinking that Excadrill might be, because Excadrill can have a lot of power behind it. Tyranitar, honestly, I don't know, unless it's Mega, but we don't really know that. So I'm gonna Scald the Excadrill, and then I'm gonna Mega. The thing is, I don't think he wants to stay with Tyranitar because he knows I have the Power Punch, and the Power Punch literally gives me, free free +2 once I Mega. So I kind of think the Tyranitar might protect. So I'm gonna Mega Evolve and go for the Power Punch on the Excadrill, because I'm really thinking the Tyranitar is going to want to protect, knowing that I carry, you know, a Power Punch. Even if he lives it, he doesn't want me to get a +2. So he's going to go for Iron Head on my Lodic with the Excadrill. Maybe going for flinches, otherwise I honestly don't know. But he doesn't protect with the Tyranitar like I thought he was going to. And I do get at least a +2 up, and my Lodic is going to be able to kill him off with a Scald. So this thing wasn't really as much of a threat as I thought it was going to be. And Tyranitar does... No! He does get the flinch. He does get the flinch on my Lodic with Iron Head, unfortunately. Tyranitar carries Low Kick, which I honestly haven't seen, but I guess with the move tutors, then that works out. So, once again, I'm going to try and Scald the Excadrill and Power Up Punch the Tyranitar. Just get the Tyranitar out of the way, I suppose. Try and get that Tyranitar out of the way, I guess. And he protects this turn. I guess it's alright. And he goes for an Earthquake. It's probably going to kill off the Kanga, honestly, at that point. But my Lodic is going to take this thing out with the Scald, and this was the kind of the thing I was looking at as the bigger threat. It should have been dead last turn, but, you know, things like that happen. And then I'm kind of going to have to see what I could bring in after I kill this thing off. I could probably bring in Landorus, because I do know that the first of all, the Tyranitar doesn't want to take Earthquakes. The Tyranitar apparently is physical, or some weird sort of mix set, but I'm not really sure. It's just weird seeing Low Kick because I'm not used to it. But Landorus is a good option. Obviously Sylveon's decent too, but I don't want Sylveon taking any Earthquakes or anything like that. So I'm gonna go into Landorus. Also, he doesn't have any like users that would suffer from having, what does he have? He has Empoleon. He has a really, really huge ground weakness. Now, Empoleon will most likely carry Ice Beam. Like, more likely than not, it's going to carry Ice Beam. But because Tyranitar did protect last turn, I am going to go for the Scald on the Tyranitar. Now, the thing is, I want to protect, but it's not really going to accomplish much, honestly. It really isn't. It's just that I know that the Empoleon is going to probably Ice Beam me. So, I want to go into Sylveon, but I have a feeling that the Tyranitar is going to Earthquake. Well, not Earthquake, because I'm out, so maybe he's not going to Earthquake. I'm going to go into Sylveon kind of safely, because the Tyranitar, if he is like as physical as I think he is, just pure physical, not like mixed, then I can go into Sylveon because he is at -1. And he goes for the Rock Slide. So at -1, it's a critical hit on Sylveon, so that's the only unfortunate thing. So luckily I didn't flinch. I get some damage off on that, and he goes for the Hydro Pump on Sylveon. I am Assault Vested, so Sylveon's taking a lot of damage, unfortunately, and Sylveon's probably going to die next turn. It's taking way too much damage, so I really wish I kind of had something like Recover on my Lodic, but I don't. I am forced to attack, and the thing is, he can easily go for another Rock Slide. So what I'm going to do is go back out into Landorus, because that's really the only thing I can do. Get another Intimidate off, and just attack. I was going to say attack both of these things with a Hyper Voice. Just for power, just for damage. Even though Empoleon isn't going to take a lot from it because it resists it, it's still damage. And he's probably going to, like, I don't see any reason he would attack the Milotic slot, because right now it's really not a threat to him. There's no reason he wouldn't go for Rock Slide. But that is going to kill the Sylveon. And then this is where the Landorus is probably going to suffer. No, he actually goes for Flash Cannon, so that still does a lot. Now this is where I Earthquake everything, because at this point I just want to get damage off. I want to kill them, and I'm going to just go for the Earthquake on both of them and then protect with the Milotic. Unfortunately, I am going to take some damage from the Sandstorm with my Milotic, but that's just to prevent myself from, you know, dying from my own Earthquake. That's the only thing I don't like about Landorus, is that I don't think I have enough Pokemon on this team in which, like when I go for Earthquakes, a lot of them are probably going to take damage. Really, the only levitator I have is Rotom. It almost took out Empoleon, and he's running, I'm guessing, weakness policy. So, Empoleon is going to take out Milotic here. Not Milotic, but Landorus here. Oh, he actually went for the Milotic, which is surprising. That's really surprising. I actually didn't think he'd go for Milotic, because in this scenario, Landorus is clearly the bigger threat. Now, this is why he probably wanted to get Milotic out of the way, which makes a lot of sense now, because he had Salamence in the back, which I honestly didn't even consider for a moment. But I am going to go for the Rock Slide, and I am going to go for the Ice Beam on the Salamence, assuming it is Mega Salamence, and I can actually get some damage off on it. There is no way, because I am at -1, that I will kill it with a Rock Slide, but I can get some damage off on it as long as it connects with the Salamence. And it almost took out the Empoleon, but I was more, I guess, more concerned with getting damage on the Salamence. But he does take out the Landorus with a Double Edge, and I believe the Empoleon outspeeds me here and takes me out anyway. And no, I actually outspeed the Salamence, but either way, seriously though, what I should have done in this scenario is just attack the Empoleon, but I was hoping that at that range of health, the Rock Slide would have taken it out, but clearly it wasn't enough because I was intimidated, just didn't have enough power behind it. But if I went for an Earthquake or something like that, well, the thing is I couldn't go for an Earthquake, but if I went maybe even for a knockoff or something like that, I would have taken it out, and it would have won me the game there. So, you know, hindsight 2020, but you can easily just go on to the next battle. I usually have 2 of these per session, just because they kind of do take a while now, because most things do tend to be a bit bulkier in this metagame. So I'm going to continue battling, and we'll see who we go up against next. Clearly my record does leave a lot to be desired so far, because I have only won once and lost twice. So due to a couple of misplays on my own part. So it's okay though, because that's how I learn. And we are battling against someone else from Japan. So Chandelure, Salamence, Klefki, Greninja, Breloom, Metagross, a lot of threats. Like I said, there's Salamence again. I usually like carrying Milotic because I feel like they usually carry Salamence with them regardless. So I'm going to lead off with Milotic. Milotic does well against Chandelure. Milotic, I wouldn't say so much against Greninja, but the thing is Greninja can't really attack me with water type attacks. He'd have to go for like Dark Pulse or something else. Now, if he's running some sort of weird combination of like Mat Block and Salamence, then I am concerned. So I'm just thinking about what I'm gonna do. Breloom is also a problem with Milotic, so I have to watch out for that. It's also a problem for Kanga. So I'm gonna lead off with Rotom on the off chance that he does bring Breloom. And Klefki is just annoying, but Rotom's also gonna kind of deal with Klefki to a certain extent. I want to bring Kanga in the back. And then Sylveon is also useful to have to take attacks, I think. Now, I could bring Landorus to get Intimidates off, but that's only if we find out that the Salamence is physical, and they don't always run physical. I've seen a lot of special sets as opposed to physical, but I'm going to bring Sylveon as my other slot. I know it hasn't really shown too much success, but it is one of the top Pokemon on the Battle Spot rankings right now, and it is for a good reason, because right now I think it is the best fairy out there because it does have considerable bulk, and then it also has a very good attacking power. So Breloom does come out. That was one of the things I was scared about, and that's why I brought Rotom. So what I'm gonna do now, the problem is that Greninja obviously threatens Rotom, and Breloom threatens Milotic. I know I can take some bullet seeds, but if he gets 5, then I'm dead. Anything less than 5, I can live. I know from experience. So it's just a matter of what I think he's gonna do. I am gonna go for the Ice Beam on the Breloom, and I'm gonna protect with Rotom, thinking that the Greninja is going to try and get rid of the Rotom, because otherwise it threatens the Breloom. And hopefully that plays out decently enough. So he does go for the Hydro Pump, and he goes for it on Rotom, and he goes for the Spore on Milotic, unfortunately. And this is, again, why we kind of need a Taunter to not deal with this. Now, the thing is, obviously he has a Bullet Seed. I could stay in, but there's a high chance of me just staying asleep. And once again, Greninja's just gonna Hydro Pump that slot. Now, what I can do with Rotom right now is go into Sylveon and hope that I can take that attack to some extent. But the problem there is gonna be that he's probably gonna Spore that slot as well, and once again, this is why I'm in a tough situation. Sylveon, it could be worse, like Sylveon could have been worse, but yeah, there he Spores the other slot, and this is why we need to have a Taunter, because I really hate dealing with crap like this, and my Milotic is fast asleep, so I think sleep maxes out at 3 turns, but I've already lost 2 turns to that, which is unfortunate. But I'm gonna use this turn to once again try and Icy Beam the Ice Beam the Breloom. But the problem is, if this Greninja carries Gong Shot, which in singles they all do, then Sylveon isn't gonna be able to deal with this, though. It's just not. And it's gonna be asleep anyway, but he does just Hydro Pump me, which is a good sign. He Hydro Pumps the Milotic slot, which is interesting because Milotic isn't going anywhere. But he's gonna Seed Bomb, which I am bulky, and I do take that, so I'm just hoping that Milotic wakes up this turn. I really, really, really do, because I want to get damage off on this. Thank you, Milotic, for waking up. I really want to get damage off on this Breloom. The Spores are annoying, and it almost takes it out. Sylveon, of course, is fast asleep, so, you know, it's kind of predictable to think that either he's going to attack the Milotic slot, or he's just going to try. He can't, like, obviously he could still Seed Bomb the Sylveon, but the Greninja hasn't shown that it has Gunk Shot or really much to attack Sylveon with. So I'm really hoping that Sylveon can break out of sleep this turn. Obviously I'm protecting my Milotic to see if I can get rid of the Breloom before anything else stupid happens. So that's just the only thing I really, really hate, is that VGC, just, if you don't have something to deal with sleep, then like you're just at a disadvantage, and that's also why I'm thinking maybe something like Thundurus with, you know, a taunt would be at least decent enough to deal with this. But like obviously I had to protect, I don't want to be put to sleep again, and he just goes for the Mach Punch. I protected, which is fine. As long as Sylveon wakes up this turn, that doesn't even do a lot, then I can kill. There's the other turn of sleep. Sylveon, you're killing me here. You're really killing me here. You're really killing me here. Milotic, I can't do much else. Can't do much else, Milotic. I'm just going for Icy Wind and Hyper Voice this turn, because there isn't really much else I could do. If he carries Salamence in the back, then I'm in trouble. That's all I know. So he's going to kill off the Milotic there. Actually, he doesn't kill off the Milotic, which I'm surprised about. I was actually anticipating dying. Continues to go for Dark Pulses, I guess for chip damage. And then I'm just going to kill off the stupid Breloom now with Icy Wind. And then as long as Sylveon wakes up this turn, then we're going to kill off the Greninja anyway, and we'll see what his other 2 slots are. And how are you still asleep, Sylveon? How are you still asleep? You're killing me here. You really are killing me here. Oh no. So, never mind. For some reason I thought they maxed out at 3 turns of sleep, but apparently it goes on for a lot longer than that. I'm surprised Sylveon has toughed it out this long. Oh, and he carries Klefki in the back. Now, another thing with my Milotic that I wish I just had is I'm protecting because obviously I don't want anything stupid to happen. But I want to get rid of the Greninja. The Greninja just has to go. Now, I'm safe from like Klefki at least putting any status on my Milotic or my Sylveon this turn. Because Sylveon's asleep and Milotic is going to protect. Unless he goes for something like Confuse Ray on Sylveon or Swagger or whatever else they carry that I'm familiar with. But I'm surprised Milotic has toughed it out, honestly. Although, Sylveon should have been awake a while ago. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So there's nothing else I can do but protect just to make sure that I don't suffer from any other annoying statuses. And he decides to finally go for Water Shuriken. He's running such a weird set. And substitute Klefki, it's probably got swag. Sylveon finally decides to wake up. And Greninja should be dead. So, right now, the good thing about Hyper Voice, though, it goes through sub. So, he can sub as much as he wants. I'm going to continue Hyper Voicing because, honestly, I might as well at that point. Really, because and there's the Salamence. Alright, so Salamence is in a spot where he attacks one thing or the other. And Klefki is in a spot in which it's probably going to rely on some ridiculous hacks to get rid of it. But once again, I'm going for the Hyper Voice and I'm going for the Ice Beam. He gave me a competitive boost, but if he's smart, he's going to find a way to take out the Milotic unless he's going to play some sort of like luck games with Confusion or Paralysis or something else. So, other than that, like I said, I have to stay in because Salamence is just a huge threat. I can't risk switching out, so to speak. So, Salamence is probably going to attack either one of the slots. The thing is, even if he wants to protect, no, there's the Swagger, so he's going to rely on Sylveon getting confused. So Sylveon, if you want to make up for those couple turns that you were asleep, this will be the way to do it. And, alright, he goes for the Earthquake. That honestly might kill both of my stuff, actually. No, it leaves Sylveon at 6. So Sylveon, if you want to actually prevail through this, it's such a weird thing that he's running Earthquake alongside a Klefki. But Sylveon, if you want to prevail through this, go for the Hyper Voice now. Thank you. We get some damage off on the Klefki, take out the Salamence, and I already forgot what I held in the back, but Sylveon, you played through that very well. I am so glad you broke through that. So, obviously, main objective, get rid of this annoying Klefki now before it swaggers anything else, and what other way to do it other than, well, we're just going to go into Rotom. As long as I even think Thunderbolt is going to, like, I don't want to risk freaking Overheat missing, but honestly think Thunderbolt is at least going to do enough amount of damage, just take it out. And at this point, I might as well just Hidden Power Ground because that's what I have on, oh, he goes for Swagger on the other thing now, too. This is the kind of stuff we love on Battle Spots, so come on, Pokemon. You can do it. You can do it. We just need to get one attack off. So, thank you. I want to say Thunderbolt will kill, but yeah, it does. I didn't want to risk the Overheat missing, so we won the second game. Once again, we're on even record. We have 2 wins, 2 losses, and we beat this atrocity of stuff that I went through. But like I said, if you guys enjoyed this, you can always leave a like. I will love you very, very, very much, and I'll continue the series. Whoops, sorry. I'll continue the series if you guys want me to. And I really hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and bye.